Hey everybody, finally I'll do this video. I'm really sorry. I know I look disgusting. This pimple won't leave my face. It's like a parasite. I know. So hopefully that's not, you know, a distraction to you. But yeah, finally time to do my top 10 of 2021. I'm really sorry that this is late. Like there was a lot of movies I needed to see, but I think I've seen enough to now make a top 10 cuz I I've seen more than enough, and I think I have a final list. So I appreciate your patience. So let's get on with my top 10 of 2021. So yeah, and remember, this is my list, not yours. If you don't agree with any of these, well, then that's just you. So let's get on. Okay, my number 10 is Dune. This movie was spectacular. I really liked this movie. I never read the book. I'm not familiar with the story. Like I heard of the story like before this movie was announced, but I just never really knew much about it until like I read the plot around like when the trailer for the first trailer for this movie came out, and I absolutely loved it. It was a great theatrical experience. The atmosphere was great. The characters were great. The performances, the action. Like this wasn't very action oriented necessarily. It was more of an adventure film, more so kind of like The Green Knight, which P.S. I did see, and that would be an honorable mention if I were to have some honorable mentions for this list. The Green Knight would be one of them, and it had a great cast: Jason Momoa, Oscar Isaac, Zendaya, David Dastmalchian, Dave Bautista, like lot of big name actors in this movie, and it was great. And I'm glad, even though this movie didn't, I don't think it broke even, but there is going to be a second one next year, which I'm really glad for because I want to see the story continue. So yeah, I absolutely loved Dune. It was great. Number nine. I know everybody hated this movie, but I thought it was awesome. Mortal Kombat. Yeah, for a movie based on Mortal Kombat, I think this is as perfect as you can get. Yeah, I know lots of people hate that the main character wasn't from the games, but, well, I didn't really care because I'm not really a huge gamer, even though I have played Mortal Kombat before. The, it was really story driven. They tried to give it a story because the Mortal Kombat games, as fun as they are, they really have no story other than just a bunch of superpowered ninjas fighting each other, and that's it. But they tried to have a story to it because given this movie was more about Sub-Zero and Scorpion, like you do see the other characters, but given this was more story driven, it made sense to focus more on these characters. And adding a new character, like I didn't mind it. Like they tried to further, the world of Mortal Kombat, and it looked great. Like for a movie, I think this only cost like $50 million, and like for a movie with that low of a budget, the effects were amazing. Like it was great, and they really made it look like a martial arts movie. Given and like they cast Japanese uh, or Asian actors. Given like there weren't really any big names in this movie. And I actually did just read a few days ago that this movie, like I think a sequel is officially getting made, which I hope so because they teased, spoilers if you haven't seen it, they teased Johnny Cage at the end, and I'd love to see him in a movie. I bet it would be great. So yeah, Mortal Kombat I think is pretty underrated, even though it was a streaming hit. No one really talked about it. So I thought Mortal Kombat was a lot of fun. My number eight is In the Heights. I loved this movie. I wanted to see this in theaters, but I didn't get to. But I saw it when it was on TV one day, and I decided to give it a view, and it was great. I have seen the musical before. My uh, when I was in high school, all everyone in my school saw the theater class perform the play, and so I was familiar with a lot of it, and it was great. The musical performances were fantastic, and like everyone's a good singer, and the dance choreography was great, and even when it's more dialogue centric, the acting is still great, and it's just an overall great movie, and I'm really glad I saw glad I watched it. It was definitely a great big screen version of the play, so I absolutely loved In the Heights. Number seven is Godzilla vs. Kong. Yes, this movie could have been longer, but for what we got, I had so much fun with it. I missed my chance to see this in the theater, but then again, in these times, that's probably something a lot of people are used to. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it could have been longer, given it's two of the most popular movie monsters fighting each other. You think it would be a little more epic, but you know what? The action is still amazing, and I love that they focus on like a lot of things, like Godzilla, like yeah, like it continues his story after King of the Monsters, after he defeated King Ghidorah, but it also um, it centers on King Kong a little bit, furthering his story too. So it's like a movie that continues for both of them. Given yeah, I know Godzilla versus Kong takes place in the same universe as all the other movies, but it's great. The action was great. There's of course, like I just love movies about big monsters fighting each other because I'm like, who doesn't want to see stuff like that? And it's really good, and I really hope there's more. I don't know how they can exactly continue going here, but if they find some way, I'll accept it. And I really had fun with this. This was a very fun film. My number six is this movie was so worth the wait. I had a blast in the theater when I saw this. Free Guy. This is definitely the funniest movie of last year. I really, really liked it. Uh, yeah, I know everyone always says Ryan Reynolds plays the same character in every movie. Yes, you never seen Van Wilder, and I I think he was great for this kind of role. He's like a very likable, sarcastic, wisecracking guy, and it's really funny. And like it's basically like if you mix Wreck It Ralph and The Truman Show, it like it's a movie like that's definitely um under a movie that people who actually understand video games actually do. It's not like a way like video games are hip, let's make a movie about it. No, it's actually like the video game world, like yeah, it does look like a real city, but like there's a lot of like crazy, stuff in the background, and a lot of the visual effects just look but are just kind of random and cartoony, so it feels like a live action video game, and I really like it for that. And uh dude, I loved the dude Ryan Reynolds' second performance. He's a this big buff guy with Ryan Reynolds' face like edited on there, and I swear I haven't laughed that hard in a theater for so long. He literally made me laugh so much. This movie was a blast. I've heard that they want to make a sequel, and I would be up for a sequel. I really hope they do because I absolutely loved this movie. It was very funny, very entertaining, and just a great summer movie. I really really enjoyed this one. My number five is The Suicide Squad. Yeah, the first one is definitely better, I think, because this one, like, yeah, it's I still had a fun time regardless. I still quite enjoyed it. It was great to see Harley Quinn back, of course, even though that's one thing. I don't know if I mentioned this in my review of the movie, but one problem I have with this movie is like Harley Quinn really doesn't have a big part. Like, I get it because you gotta make room for some like new characters, but still, like, I didn't like that. Like for she's with like the team for with Team One in the beginning of the movie, then she's with the villains throughout most of it, and then she's just with the rest of the team for the third act, which I didn't like that they did that. They really spent her with the villains more, like the dictators and stuff, not Starro. I mean, like the Corto Maltese people, and like I didn't like that. Like, and the ironic thing is James Gunn and Marco Robbie both said Harley Quinn works better when she's with other people. Ironic because she's not with the team much in this movie. Because I really didn't like that they did that. Because Harley Quinn, like, yeah, like all the characters in the movie are goofy, but like Harley Quinn, she's kind of a whack. She's a wacko, so she has a different kind of sense of humor compared to everyone else in this movie. And but still, like the other characters, like I loved King Shark. Like a part of me wanted to hate that they made him stupid, but on the other hand, he was just so cute and so lovable. I couldn't hate him. Like, really, when he says he had no friends, I seriously felt so bad for him. So they tried to make him sympathetic, I guess making him more cutesy and, you know, comical was what made him more sympathetic. Because like if he was a strong blood hungry monster like in the comics, you wouldn't feel bad for him. Like if King Shark in the comics said he had no friends, you'd be like, good, because you're a monster. But no, here, and Ratcatcher, I know my friend Josh is gonna want to hear about this, but I also liked Ratcatcher too. Like her and King Shark had a really cute friendship. And like you think like a character who controls rats, like that would be useless, like it'd be a stupid character. But no, she was very sweet and charming, and there was a lot to her. And no, I haven't seen the Peacemaker show yet, if you asking. And yeah, John Cena in this movie was great. Even though like I think John Cena is fit for this kind of movie. Like you would buy him as a comic book character because he's like a big, strong guy, but he has a sense of humor. So he worked with the script, and I haven't seen the show yet, so I can't say. And I'm glad they cast John Cena, like I said, because Dave Bautista was gonna play him, and yeah, he wouldn't have worked. Like James Gunn wanted to make this movie different from Guardians of the Galaxy, so it wouldn't help that the big strong guy is played by the same actor. So yeah, and Idris Elba's Bloodsport, like it sucked we couldn't get Will Smith as Deadshot back, because Will Smith would have worked, in a comedy movie, because Will Smith is a very funny guy. But like, I'm glad Bloodsport was in this way, because he was the only character I didn't know about beforehand, and all the weapons he creates. He has this high tech suit and all the nanotech he has. Like, he's a very cool character, and I'm glad I got to know him. I hope we get to see more of him. So yeah, I really enjoyed the Suicide Squad. So yeah. Number 4, Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil. If she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. She's like a spider waiting for the kill. Cruella, Cruella de Vil. Number 4 is Cruella. Yeah, I think I'm the only person who has this in their top 10, but I was amazed how much I loved this movie. I mean, yeah, when I saw the trailer, I was definitely excited, but this is without a doubt my favorite Disney remake. It's because, like, it's really different. It doesn't really feel like something Disney would really do. Like, it's like a kid-friendly psychological thriller. I know a lot of people hate this because, like, oh, they wanted to make us be sympathetic for a woman who wants to skin puppies. Well, lots of psychological thriller movies focus on characters you wouldn't want to sympathize with, so it's not like this is anything new. And like, it's a crime movie, and it really feels, since it takes place in the 70s, it feels like a 70s crime movie, like with the setting and the grim atmosphere. And Emma Stone, her performance is Oscar worthy. Yeah, I said it. Her everything, like, she's great as, Estella, like when she's, just a fashion designer, but when she's Cruel, she's, crazy and psychotic. And like, speaking of Harley Quinn, by the way, she kind of had a Harley Quinn vibe to her. And or no, maybe not Harley. She kind of felt more like Selena Kyle in Batman Returns, and like, it really has that vibe. Though, yeah, I admit the twist was pretty stupid. Like, it just felt really forced. That was really the only problem I had with it. But other than that, the twist didn't completely ruin the movie, because I was having so much fun throughout everything else, and I absolutely loved it. I thought Cruella was great. I probably loved it more than everyone else did, but hey, at least it pleased someone. I guess that's what's important. So yeah, I'm really amazed how much I liked this movie. So number 4 is Cruella. Number 3 is a movie I saw last night, actually, and it was absolutely amazing. Licorice Pizza. Don't let the title fool you. This movie is spectacular. I've been excited for this movie ever since I saw the trailer, and oh, this movie was amazing. It's a teen kind of romantic. It's kind of a romance movie, but like it's more like a coming of age comedy drama, and it's absolutely great. Like the performances of the two leads are great. Like their chemistry is great. I mean, you kind of don't buy it at first because sometimes they bicker, but given the story, it's kind of expected. And yeah, of course, like every other movie today, it has a controversy, but this one, I guess I kind of understand. It's because the two characters, Alana, who's I think Alana's like 25 or 26, I think, and Gary is 15. Yeah, I can definitely see why some people would be uncomfortable with that. But it, to be fair though, in the movie they don't like have a like that kind of relationship. Their relationship is more sweet than sexual because like Alana sometimes is even really disgusted about like what Gary wants to think. So really, you got to see the movie to understand this, and it's really great. And yeah, there was also another controversy, of course, saying this movie is racist against Asian people. Okay, yeah, I can definitely understand why that a scene like that. I won't describe this scene because I don't want to offend any my viewers in case any of you are part of an Asian heritage, but this movie takes place in the 70s, or remember that. So times were different back then, so you gotta really acknowledge that. But everything looked great. Like the setting, it was looked like a 70s, 60s movie. It really had that vibe to it, and it was shot like okay, it was more shot like a modern one, but it was like in an artistic way. It was styled like the settings and everything. It's kind of like if you took a Lana Del Rey music video, but actually gave it a plot, characters, and a 2 hour runtime, and it's absolutely great. I'm really glad I got to see this. I saw this on last night, as I said before. I'm probably repeating myself. I saw it on the big screen, so really glad in times like this to go to the theater. It really feels good, given it's in times like this, it's kind of hard to do stuff like this regularly. So yeah, Licorice Pizza, I absolutely loved it. If you haven't seen it, totally recommend it. My number two, I probably again like Cruella, I think I'm the only person who's gonna have this in my top 10. But I know everybody hated this movie, but given the first one is one of my favorite movies, I absolutely loved it. Space Jam: A New Legacy. I've never seen the Looney Tunes on the big screen before, given, I was only 2 years old when Looney Tunes Back in Action came out. And it was definitely something special for me. And I really had a fun time with this. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's just an ad for Warner Brothers. Well, not really. Because, yeah, it does focus on a lot of Warner Brothers properties like Bugs and LeBron. Like, they go to different worlds. Like, yeah, like the DC world or the Matrix world or anything else. But like they tried to make it different from the first movie. It was more like a sci-fi esque. Yeah, I know the first one was kind of sci-fi, with the aliens and such. But this one, it was kind of like Ready Player One or Tron Legacy, and it was a lot of fun. And you know, I actually didn't mind LeBron's performance much. To like a lot of people said LeBron was terrible in this one. I didn't mind him. He looked like he was enjoying himself for a lot of it. And you know what? This might be a controversial opinion, but I actually liked LeBron's performance more than Michael Jordan because, like, as much as I really, really love the first one, if I had to nitpick one thing about the first, it would be Michael Jordan's performance because he wasn't a good actor. Like, lots of the time, he just kind of looked like he was thinking, yeah, I'm getting paid to star in this. Because, like, remember in the first movie when he first sees Bugs Bunny, he was just like, Bugs Bunny, you're a cartoon character. You're not real. Like, he sounded like he saw someone with their shirt on backwards. Not that one of the world's most famous cartoon characters is right in front of him. But, it was a lot of fun. And, I did laugh quite a bit because the Looney Tunes, of course, are very funny. They're really funny characters. So I had a lot to enjoy about this movie. I would definitely rewatch it if I had to. I know it's not as good as the first, but does that make it bad? Absolutely not. There's plenty of sequels. It's kind of like, Toy Story 2 or Shrek 2. Like, they may not be the first movie level, but they're still really good. Okay, maybe that might not be a fair comparison because undoubtedly Shrek 2 and Toy Story 2 are better movies, but you get my drift because this this movie was a lot of fun. I don't know if we'll get another Space Jam or we'll see what happens. So, yeah. Now, what's my number one? I think you know what it is. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. If you haven't guessed, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Warner Brothers, you may be a stupid company, but at least you did one thing. You gave us the Justice League movie we always wanted. I know some of you are going to say, this doesn't count. It's an extended cut. It's the same movie. It is not. It is not the same movie. If it was the same movie, why are some of Joss Whedon's, all of Joss Whedon's shots not in this movie? And if it was the same movie, why is the story different? Why are all the shots different? Yeah, and this movie, it's obviously better than the Whedon cut, because, you would really seriously have to be smoking a lot of weed to think the Whedon cut's better, because this movie is so good. I know this is a streaming movie, but I would have killed to see this on the big screen. I know it's 4 hours, but I didn't feel a thing, because I was so invested. The characters were great. Batman wasn't a joke in this one. God, thank you. Because Batman's my favorite superhero. I want him treated with respect, and he was done great. And him and, Superman, Superman comes back. When they bring back Superman, he's not joking this one. He's not like, hope it's like your car keys. No. Here, he has a lot, they have a lot together. I mean, I know Ben Affleck isn't going to be, they say after the Flash movie, Ben Affleck's done as Batman, which they said that before that he was done as Batman, but then they brought him back for Flash in this movie, so honestly, I really don't know what's going to happen. And, speaking of the Flash, I'm now actually more excited for his movie now, if you know. And he was really done better. He wasn't annoying like in the Whedon version. Here, he was actually great. He was useful and he was great. And remember when I said that they still did have the I'm a snack hole joke, which was really cringy because I'm surprised that was actually in the Snyder version. Speaking of that, remember when I said the you smell good line was in here? No, I actually probably had PTSD from the Whedon version because on my second viewing, I noticed Lois Lane actually said you spoke. That's actually no, I feel worse because the fact that she said you spoke and Warner Brothers cut that out for the sake of a joke, that actually pisses me off even more. But it's great. And Cyborg, he had a lot to do in this because he almost did nothing in the Whedon version. Here, when he's trying to separate all the mother boxes and, they go through his backstory and they made him really tragic and they show his father. It's great. It's fantastic. And yeah, and when he's separating all the mother boxes and the Flash, used the Speed Force to go back in time. And the fact that Warner Brothers is cut that scene out and replaced it with whatever happened in the Whedon cut, Flash saving a random Russian family, Warner Brothers is run by monkeys. I'm sorry, they are, because this movie was it was so good. It was like watching a live action Justice League Unlimited that was extended, and it was just so good. I absolutely loved it, and even some of the Easter eggs like Martian Manhunter or the or um Ryan Choi, who's alter ego of the Atom. The Atom's not doesn't like actually appear in this movie, but they tease him, and the Green Lanterns. Oh my god, this movie it was something. Okay, it may not be my favorite of the DCU. That still goes to Birds of Prey, but I had so much fun with this. I really, really enjoyed it, and really sucks that Warner Brothers doesn't want any sequels because they hate Snyder. But you know what? This movie had a lot going for it to the point where I guess I have to take what I can get, but I don't know. I still really want sequels, but Zack Snyder's Justice League, absolutely loved it. It was very, very, very good. I had a lot of fun with it, and it was a great time seeing the Justice League on screen together for the first time. Forget that other thing happened. So, yeah, those are my top 10 of 2021. Sorry for the long wait, but I'm sure all of you understand, and that's what I appreciate about all of you. You're really understanding, you're really patient, and that's what I love about all of you. So let me know what were your top 10 of last year. So yeah, so I'll see you in my next video whenever I return. So later.